Hello guys, welcome back to Sedic's Rabbitry. My name is Sedic, a young and passionate rabbit farmer here in Ghana. So today's video I'm going to talk about buying your feed or making your own feed. As a starter, you should be buying feed or making your own feed, and some disadvantages that comes with it as well as advantages that comes with it. So if you are new to the channel, just don't forget to hit the subscribe button, smash that like button right there so that YouTube will notify whenever I upload a new video. In most cases, we will always advise that as a rabbit farmer beginner, you should be buying feed from other farmers to start with, right? And you will get to know what works for you, what your rabbit really likes, and the behavior of your rabbit when they get that feed you bought for them, right? And also you can start up with making your own feed. If you have the right knowledge about it, then you can start making up your own feed. But if you don't have any knowledge about the nutritional value the rabbits need in their feed, then you should not make your own feed, or it is not advisable for you to make your own feed. Now let's start with some advantages of making your own feed. First of all, it will help your rabbit increase in growth rate. Now if you have the knowledge, the right knowledge about the nutritional value your rabbits need in order for them to boost their growth rate, then you have a high probability that you can make your own feed and it can be suitable for your rabbit. So if you have the knowledge, you can just add up one or two things. You have your feed done, feed it to them. Make sure you check the behavior monthly, weekly, or wherever way you want to do it, so that you can get a good analysis to check on in order to know if the feed you are making is good for the rabbit or not. The next thing is you can cut cost when making your own feed. Now regardless you buying feed, you can use that money that you used to buy feed and make your own feed, right? Having the right knowledge, you make the feed, and you can have, like, let's say if you are using 200 cedis for buying feed, you can use less than that to make your own feed, because the transportation is not part of it. Because nowadays when you want to get feed, you won't get it around you. Like for me, I don't get the feed around me, so I get it from far away. So I'll just pay for the transportation fee, which can increase the amount that I should pay for the feed, right? So if I want to make my own feed, I have the chance of reducing the cost of the feed, and also use that money to put it into something like the medication or the equipment I need and all other stuffs. The next thing is you know what your rabbit wants. Now what I mean by this is, when starting to give your rabbit a certain feed, you need to check the behavior of the rabbit. It's really important, right? Because sometimes when they lack some nutritional value in the feed, then it might cause them to deform, or they can be dull, or maybe getting some infection due to lack of that nutrient, right? So knowing what your rabbits want all determines by the data you keep, right? So the very first day you start giving your own feed, you should put down everything, right? Everything you see on the farm that you think is not good, you will just jot it down, so that in case it's the side of the feed that's what causing that problem, then you can just change it, so that you can take on the feed, right? So if you keep the right data, then you are able to know if the feed you are giving to the rabbit is more efficient than the one you buy, or the ones you've made is not as good as the one you buy, so that you can just switch it up. The next thing is you know the benefits of each ingredient you are putting in your feed, right? So having the right knowledge, you know that I have my premix, I have my wheat bran, I have my PKC, I have my antibiotics, I have my multivitamins all in the feed, right? So just in case I don't see any sign that these rabbits are growing, I know that I have missed something from the feed formula, right? So I will just go check it up again and then add what I need to add on, then they can grow well, right? So having maybe premix, you know that okay, premix helps them or gives them some sort of vitamins that they need, right, to boost their growth. And also you know that the antibiotics help them to eat a lot, or helps them to boost their immune system, right? So if they don't have maybe the premix or the antibiotics, you know that okay, this why the rabbit is behaving this way, so I need to change it, or I need to add something to it. Also, keeping the right record or keeping the right data will help you know what doesn't work in your feed formula, right? So let's say we have premix, we have antibiotics, we have the multivitamin, and we could say that, okay, we've missed calcium in the feed, right? Which you can see that the rabbit urine will change in some time. The rabbit urine will change because they don't have calcium in their feed, or they have less calcium in their feed. So in this situation, you know that, okay, I have the right data and it shows me that we are lacking calcium in the feed. That's why the rabbits are behaving this way. So that's what we need to add to the feed. Or even you add let's say maize to the feed, and in some period of time you've seen that the rabbit behavior have just changed because there are certain changes in their body system because of the maize you added to it. So you would think that, okay, this is not what I want from the rabbit, so I'll just omit the maize from it and just use my usual formula I used to use, right? So with this concept, you will get to know how your rabbits behave when you give the feed you've made yourself, or how your rabbits behave when you've bought the feed to start with, right? So as a beginner, all you need to do is to start buying feed from the right source so that you can boost your rabbit growth, you can boost their birth rate and all other stuff, right? So as you are experiencing with the rabbit you have, then you have the likely chance to learn more about feed formulation and then start making your own feed. So I'll leave a link at the top here or this side so that you can go and check out the video I made about feed formulation, right? So if that's what you can afford to do, then you are good to go. As you know, the main primary reason why some farmers would love to make their own feed, they want to cut costs, right? So in cutting costs, you can use other organic sources of nutrients for your animals, right? So this comes to, you can add organic medications to your feed. Let's say something like dewormer, multivitamin, or antibiotic. You can just use the pawpaw leaf, the bitter leaf, or you can use the oral ones that we have for the rabbit, right? So the pawpaw leaf like this, you can use it as a dewormer. So you can just dry it, grind it, and then add as little as 150 grams to 25 kg of feed, and that's it. You can just use it. And also with the bitter leaf, you can do the same as well. One thing you need to also do is that when you have your formulated feed, you have to know the right quantity your rabbits need, right? So that you don't overfeed them, which can cause them to increase in weight, or you feed them with little feed, which can decrease their weight as well, and this can affect your breeding cycle. Let us look at the disadvantages of making your own feed, right? So one, your rabbit can increase in weight or decrease in weight. Now bear in mind, you making your own feed for the first time, you won't take that as your main or permanent feed that you'll be using, right? You'll be doing it in a form of experiment so that you can examine the body language of the rabbit. You can examine their weight when you start feeding them with the feed, so that you can see if they are increasing in weight or decreasing in weight. If they are increasing in weight too much, then it can have a side effect on your breeding, right? If they are decreasing in weight as well, then it might likely work in your favor or work against you, right? So let's say you have rabbits that have a lot of weight, and you started feeding them with your first formula. Then you've seen that the weight has started decreasing by 1%, 2%. Then you know that, okay, then these rabbits can be ready to be bred, right? Because if they have a lot of fat, the breeding becomes difficult. The next one is infection can occur if not given the right quantity of ingredients, right? So as I said earlier, having your first formula, you will take it as an experiment to know how they behave or how they react to the feed and all other stuff, right? So not giving the right quantity of, maybe let's say the wheat bran, the PKC, the calcium, the antibiotics, or the dewormer, then it can have a side effect on the rabbit, right? So I would want you to go deeply in learning how to make the feed before you can start making your own feed, right? It will save you a lot of time if you do that. The next thing is, there will be change in the droppings of the rabbits and also the urine. If you are a type of farmer that observe your rabbits like really closely, then you will see that when you change the feed, it also has an impact on the droppings and also the urine, right? So what I said about the calcium, it can be in a form of when they lack, calcium in the feed that you made for them, then you will see that there will be a change in the urine, right? It will be sometimes very white and thick. Also, it can be very light, right? So having not giving the right quantities of the ingredients can cause changes in the droppings or the poop, or even if the feed is new to them, right? If the feed is new to them, then there will be change in the urine and the droppings for some time, like a week or 2 weeks. Then it will change back to its normal way. The next disadvantage is inadequate supply of ingredients. Now bear in mind, you making your own feed, it means that you have to go out there and look for the ingredients, right? You have to search for places where you can get the wheat bran, you can get a PKC, you can get a premix and all other ingredients that you need to make your own feed. So what if there is a short in supply of those ingredients, right? Then you have to go back to using the commercial feed, right? So if that's the case, then it won't be a problem for you. But if you are someone, you need to cut costs on the feed because you have large quantity of rabbit, then I would like you to have a space, get enough of the wheat bran and the PKC. Then it can take you for a very long time before you buy it, right? Because not every time they will have the supply of the ingredients you need, right? So if you have it at your farm, then you don't have a problem with that. The next thing is breeding can be difficult. Now I keep on emphasizing on this because it's really important. Having your own feed can cause changes in breeding, right? So if the rabbits increase in weight too much, then it will be difficult for you to breed. But if they have been decreasing in weight too, it won't be good for breeding because the males won't have that strength to breed with it, right? So having the right knowledge, I keep on saying that, having the right knowledge, you will know what works and what doesn't work. And you should have, most importantly, you should have weighing scale on the farm, right? So that you can be checking the weight of the rabbits regularly to see if the feed is making them gain a lot of weight, or they are gaining weight gradually as they are supposed to. There will also be changes in feed intake, right? So if the feed you make is very light, then they will need to take a lot of it before they can be satisfied, right? But if the feed is quite heavier, then they will take as little as 70 grams of it, and that's it, right? But if the feed is light, then somewhere around 100 to 120 grams before they can get satisfied. The last thing is the rabbit will be lacking some nutrients if you are not giving the right quantity, right? So as I said earlier, if they lack some nutrients in the feed, it will cause changes in the rabbit and you might not like it. So you just go back to the feed you use, or you can add it to the feed and then make it rich for them. Okay, so as a beginner, I will always advise you should buy commercial feed for like a year, using it, gaining experience, and then you can take the route of making your own feed. But more or less, you should start using the commercial feed so that you can get your hands on some feed formula. Even where you buy the feed, you can just pay just some little money, and then the person can show you the formula, the right quantity of each and every ingredient you need to use, so that it can be beneficial to you as the rabbit farmer, right? So this is what I have for you guys for today, and I hope you've enjoyed watching this video. If you have any question, you didn't understand any part of this video, I would like you to put that in the comment section and I will be glad to answer you as well. So until next time, peace.